Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. You know we love to dig into cutting-edge tools, and today we're diving into Perplexity AI. It's this AI search engine that's getting a ton of buzz. And get this, the training materials we're using for this deep dive, well, they've got this really interesting twist. They actually use 40 hertz binaural beats, and those are supposed to help you focus better and remember more as you're learning. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's break down what makes Perplexity AI special.
You know, one of the coolest things about Perplexity is that it doesn't just give you answers like a regular search engine. It actually tells you why those answers are right by showing you exactly where the information came from. So you don't have to spend forever clicking through links and trying to figure out if something's reliable.
That's a game changer for sure. And from what I've seen, the folks behind Perplexity seem really passionate about making this tool accessible for everyone, especially people who might find traditional learning methods a bit difficult. The training actually points out how helpful it can be for mature learners and also for people with ADHD or dyslexia.
Absolutely. And it really ties into this bigger trend we're seeing with technology becoming more personalized to fit different learning styles. But before we get too deep into those specific benefits, let's just lay out the basics of what Perplexity offers. So to start, they have both a free version and a pro version.
Okay, that's always my first question. What do you get for free versus what do you unlock if you go pro?
Right. So the free version lets you do unlimited basic searches. Plus you get 5 pro searches every day. And those pro searches, they can handle more complicated questions. And you also get some really neat features, like being able to ask follow-up questions to get more details about something without having to start a whole new search.
Okay, so that free tier sounds pretty generous, especially if you're just starting out. But what are the perks that make people want to go pro?
Well, with Pro, you get a major boost in those Pro searches. You go from 5 a day to something like 300 or 400. Plus, you get access to different AI models, each with its own strength. Some are better for writing. Others are great at analyzing data. It's like having a whole team of AI experts ready to help.
That's wild. And I saw that the pro version even lets you upload your own files to get analyzed.
Yeah.
I can see researchers or anyone dealing with tons of information going nuts for that.
Oh, absolutely. Just imagine being able to analyze scientific papers, or get summaries of meeting notes, or even get insights from your own writing projects. The possibilities are huge.
All right, consider me officially impressed. But hold on, let's go back for a second. Because even the free version has a feature that blew my mind. You can actually set up your Perplexity profile to get answers that are tailored to you. And get this, the person who made the training videos we're using, they actually use ChatGPT to help them make their perfect Perplexity profile.
Isn't that cool? It's such a great example of how these different AI tools can work together. And it highlights how much control we have over shaping our online experiences. The more Perplexity learns about what you're interested in and what your goals are, the more relevant its search results will become for you.
It's like having a search engine that grows with you. That's so cool. Okay, now let's talk about organization, because anyone who's done research knows things can get out of hand fast. The videos mention something called perplexity spaces. What exactly are those?
So basically, think of spaces as these virtual folders where you can organize your research projects, you can make a separate space for each topic you're working on, and then you can keep all your searches, notes, even uploaded files, all neatly organized in one place.
Okay, that would save me so much time and stress in college. That's a game changer for anyone who juggles multiple projects or just wants to stay on top of things. So, personalized profiles, organized spaces. What else makes Perplexity stand out from the crowd?
Well, one really cool feature is something called the Focus tab, which lets you fine-tune your searches based on certain categories. So, for example, if you're working on a writing project, you can choose the writing focus. And then Perplexity will adjust its results to help you generate different types of writing, just based on simple prompts.
Wait, so I could literally ask it to write like a sonnet about the history of AI?
Yeah.
And it would actually do it?
It totally could. And there are other focus options too, like academic focus, which is perfect for students or anyone who needs reliable sources. It helps you dive deep into scholarly articles and scientific papers. And then there's video and social, which lets you explore video content and social media discussions, all related to your search.
Perplexity is sounding less like a simple search engine and more like a full-blown research assistant. This is incredible.
Yeah.
But before we get too carried away with all these bells and whistles, let's go back to something that caught my attention right from the start. Those 40 hertz binaural beats that are built into the training.
Yeah, that's a really unique approach to learning, and it definitely kicked my interest too. There's more and more evidence suggesting that these specific sound frequencies can actually affect how our brains work, especially when it comes to improving focus and memory.
And the training really highlights this as a key benefit, especially for people over 40 and people who struggle with ADHD or dyslexia. So let's dig into that a bit more. Why is this age group in particular such a focus?
Well, as we get older, our brains naturally go through some changes, learning new things, staying focused for long periods, remembering information. It can sometimes become a little more challenging.
So it's not that our brains are becoming less capable, but they might just need a little extra help to perform at their best.
Exactly. And that's where these binaural beats come in. They're not some magic cure-all, but they can potentially provide that extra support to make learning smoother and more effective.
That makes sense. And what about people with ADHD or dyslexia? How do these binaural beats factor into their learning experience?
So research suggests that 40 hertz binaural beats can actually help improve focus, attention span, and auditory processing. And those are often areas where individuals with ADHD or dyslexia face challenges.
It's like creating a more supportive learning environment that caters to those differences, rather than forcing everyone into the same mold.
Exactly. And the really cool thing is this idea isn't limited to just Perplexity. Imagine using binaural beats while you're reading, studying, even working on complicated tasks.
Wow, it's like a whole new world of possibilities for learning and engaging with information. But before we go too far down that rabbit hole, let's circle back to Perplexity. We've talked about free versus pro, but what about how it stacks up against other big search engines out there? Let's see how it compares to the competition.
Great idea. Let's put Perplexity head-to-head with giants like Bing and Google. Okay, so let's start our search engine face-off. First up, we've got Bing, Microsoft's answer to Google.
Yeah, Bing's been making a lot of noise about their AI features lately, especially that deep search thing. How does Perplexity's approach compare to that?
So Bing relies a lot on traditional links, and they've got this AI-powered deep search that tries to understand what you're really looking for, so it can give you more relevant results. But Perplexity takes a different approach. It's all about transparency, showing you exactly where the information is coming from.
So with Bing, you're trusting their algorithm to decide what's important. But with Perplexity, you can see the sources yourself and decide for yourself if they're credible.
Exactly. It puts the power back in your hands. Speaking of powerful search engines, how do you think Perplexity measures up against the king, Google?
Google has their own AI chatbot now, right? Gemini?
Yeah.
How does that change things?
Yeah, Google's definitely jumped on the AI bandwagon. They've integrated Gemini into their search results, so you get these AI-powered summaries and insights right alongside the traditional links.
So it's kind of a mix of AI and old school search.
Exactly. You get the best of both worlds. You can quickly get the gist of things from Gemini, but you can also dig into the original sources if you want to verify something or learn more.
Makes sense. Okay, what about ChatGPT? It's been impossible to ignore all the hype around that. Where does it fit in with all these search tools?
So ChatGPT is mainly a conversational AI. It's like having a chat with a really smart computer. But their paid version does offer a pretty powerful search feature with cited sources, similar to Perplexity. But the free version of ChatGPT has pretty limited web browsing capabilities.
So both Perplexity and the paid version of ChatGPT are kind of battling it out to be the top dog for AI-powered search with reliable sources. I guess it depends on what you're looking for. They both have their pros and cons.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, it comes down to personal preference and what you need from a search tool. Oh, and we can't forget about Claude.ai. It's another powerful AI out there, but with a really unique twist.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned earlier that Claude is great at providing in-depth artifacts. What exactly are those, and how are they different from regular search results?
Okay, imagine you're searching for info on, let's say, the history of flight. With most search engines, you'd probably get a list of links, maybe a short paragraph summarizing the key points. But Claude might create an artifact that includes a timeline of major events, profiles of important inventors, a glossary of terms, even pictures and diagrams.
So it's not just giving you information. It's organizing and presenting it in a way that's actually easy to understand and learn from.
Exactly. It's like having a mini course on the topic.
That's so cool. Sounds like Claude is really pushing the boundaries of how we learn online.
It definitely is. But with all these amazing AI tools popping up, it can be tough to know which one's right for you. The best thing to do is figure out what your research style is, what's most important to you, speed, convenience, or maybe you're all about accuracy and making sure you have reliable sources.
That's a great point. Different tools for different needs. Okay, let's go back to those 40 hertz binaural beats for a second. Remember how the Perplexity training actually uses them to help people focus better and remember more? I'm dying to understand how those work and why the training specifically talks about how helpful they can be. for certain groups of people.
Okay, so imagine you're wearing headphones, and each ear is hearing a slightly different sound frequency. Let's say your left ear hears a tone at 400 hertz, and your right ear hears one at 404 hertz. Your brain actually perceives a third beat, kind of like a phantom beat, at the difference between those two frequencies, which would be 4 hertz in this case. That's the binaural beat.
So it's like a trick our brains play on us. That's wild. But how does that actually help with focus and memory?
Well, different binaural beat frequencies can actually change our brainwave activity. Think of brainwaves like electrical signals in your brain. They change depending on what you're doing. Like when you're alert and focused, you have more beta waves. And when you're relaxed, you have more alpha waves.
Okay, I'm starting to see the connection here. So these 40 hertz binaural beats are supposed to encourage our brains to produce more of the brain waves that are linked to focus and concentration.
Exactly. Studies have shown that listening to 40 hertz binaural beats can increase beta wave activity, which is associated with improved attention, memory, and even problem solving.
So it's not just about feeling more focused. It's about actually improving how our brains work.
That's the idea.
But why the focus on mature learners and people with ADHD or dyslexia?
Right. So as we talked about earlier, as we age, our brains naturally change, and sometimes that can make it a little harder to learn new things and stay focused. These binaural beats might be a way to support those changes and help our brains function at their best.
So it's like giving our brains a little extra boost no matter our age.
Exactly.
And what about ADHD and dyslexia?
Well, people with ADHD or dyslexia often have trouble with things like focus, attention span, and processing sounds. And some research suggests that 40 hertz binaural beats might have a positive impact in those areas.
So the training is basically using a tool that could potentially make learning easier for people who face those challenges.
Exactly. It's about creating a more inclusive and supportive learning environment.
I love that. And the cool thing is, you don't have to use binaural beats just for learning Perplexity.
Right. You could use them while you're reading a book, studying for a test, even working on a project that requires a lot of concentration.
Wow, so many possibilities. It's like we're hacking our brains to learn better.
It kind of is. It's really exciting to see how technology and neuroscience are coming together to help us unlock our full potential.
This has been eye-opening. We've covered so much, from how Perplexity works and how it stacks up against the competition, to the amazing potential of binaural beats for learning. But before we wrap up, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Where do you see all this heading? What's the future of learning going to look like?
That's a great question. And it leads us into a really exciting discussion about the future of learning itself.
Okay, so we've talked about Perplexity, we've looked at the competition, and we've even dug into these brain-boosting binaural beats. But I'm curious, where does all this lead? What does it all mean for the future of learning?
Well, what's really exciting is that we're just scratching the surface of personalized learning. I mean, if sound can potentially help us focus better while using a tool like Perplexity, just imagine what we could do with other sensory inputs.
Oh, yeah, that's getting into some sci-fi territory. Like, could we use visuals like calming colors or specific lighting to enhance the learning process even more?
Absolutely. There's a whole field called neuroaesthetics that's all about how our brains respond to different sensory experiences. Imagine a learning environment that adapts to you, like it adjusts the lighting, the sounds, even the temperature to create the perfect state for your brain to learn.
It's like a spa day for your mind.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just the external environment. We're also learning more about how to optimize our internal states for learning, like biofeedback, for example. It can help us track things like our heart rate, brainwave activity, even muscle tension, all in real time.
So you could actually see how your body reacts to different learning activities and then adjust accordingly.
Exactly. Imagine putting on a headset that not only delivers personalized learning content, but also monitors your biofeedback and adjusts the experience on the fly to keep you engaged and focused.
It's like having a personal trainer for your brain.
And it's not just about focus. We can also personalize learning to match different learning styles. Some people are visual learners, some prefer auditory, some need hands-on experiences.
So instead of trying to fit everyone into the same box, we could have truly customized learning that's designed for each individual.
Exactly. And AI could play a huge role in making that happen. Imagine an AI system that analyzes your learning style, tracks your progress, and constantly adjusts the content to keep you challenged and engaged.
That sounds like the ultimate learning experience.
And who knows, maybe someday AI will be able to do even more. Like, what if it could help us unlock hidden cognitive abilities, things we didn't even know we were capable of?
Now, that's mind-blowing. It's incredible to think about what we could achieve if AI helps us learn more effectively.
We're really entering a new era. where technology and human potential are intertwined in ways we're just beginning to understand. And it all starts with a simple question. What do you want to learn today?
And how can we use these incredible tools to make that journey as rewarding and transformative as possible?
That's what it's all about. As we've seen with Perplexity, even something as simple as adding binaural beats to the mix can potentially make a big difference.
It feels like we're on the verge of a learning revolution.
I think we are, and tools like Perplexity are leading the way.
Well, it's an exciting time to be a learner.
Absolutely. Embrace the new tools, explore the possibilities, and never stop learning, growing, and evolving.
So what does this all mean for you, our listener? It means you have the power to learn anything you want. You can personalize your learning journey in ways never before imagined. The future of learning is brighter than ever before.
So go out there, explore, discover, and never stop asking questions.
That's it for our deep dives into the world of perplexity and the future of learning. We'll be back soon with another fascinating exploration. Until then, happy learning.